Hello, we are here at C2FO and BW Business World's Innovate 2023, where we are talking about the role of fintech platforms, in providing and giving supply chains that working cash flows. I have with me Mr. Nikhil Sohoni, who is the Group CFO of Blue Star. Sir, thank you so much for your time in
Pleasure.
joining us. Sir, I want to understand, in your opinion, how does a fintech marketplace matching funders to vulnerable vendors provide optimal working capital solutions?
It's a very, very important element considering the fact that earlier the vendors only had access to bank finance and
Right.
where banks used to be very choosy. So the whole space what fintech has opened up is in clear terms end-to-end financing. And when I say end-to-end, it means going beyond tier one finances.
Right.
Initially, what used to happen is the tier one finances had access to finance because they used to sell to the OEMs.
Right.
The tier 2, tier 3 finance vendors will not have as much access to the finance
Right.
as the vendor to whom they are supplying is not the big OEM.
Right.
That used to be the limiting factor.
Right.
With fintech space, what is happening is there is a visibility right up to the end. And that visibility can now be explored not only by the OEMs but also by the financiers.
Financiers.
So the financiers today on this technology platform can see the end vendor and they are ready to finance it because they know finally the flow is coming to the main OEM.
Right.
So that's I think is the biggest advantage that fintech has done,
And
and probably it has kind of thrown up this industry multifold times in terms of the quantum of financing that can be done.
right. So my other question to you, as the West is looking now, to shift offshore manufacturing to India, given the worldwide crisis and the government's focus on making India indigenization, I want to understand the edge that a sustainable manufacturing strategies can have and how India can leverage this.
In terms of sustainable manufacturing strategies, I will say that probably, see, we have the biggest example of PLI.
Right.
Okay, so or any OEM which is planning to invest
Right.
should also use this opportunity to get vendors to invest in India.
Right.
So if you have, and that's going to help in a big way because if you have a vendor nearby,
Right.
it's going to save out on your logistics.
Right.
It's going to save on your time required for storing. So
Right.
all of that is going to help in sustainable
Right.
supply chain. Today we are moving away from just in time to just in case
Right.
after COVID.
Right.
Because everyone is talking more and more.
Right.
So if you have the PLI investments, vendor investing into India, the advantage is going to be the just in case will be with a vendor who is nearby you. So you can still manage the best of just in case and just in time.
Right.
I think that is what will be the key, and
Right.
that is why you have to promote more and more vendors coming into India. The second thing is, of course, the scale. The moment the scale you get a scale, it's going to help you reduce the prices.
Right.
And one will have to be thinking large enough to see the bigger picture to
Right.
ensure that you get those higher volumes, because that volumes and economies will give you benefit
Benefits.
which will be far more in terms of things rather than retaining the PLI benefit.
Right.
So I think it is going to be the play of how the OEMs use PLI. It's going to be the play of how the vendors kind of use PLI. If everyone picks a bigger picture in mind, I think
Right.
there is a lot to play over here.
Right, sir. So you rightly pointed out on the sustainable aspect, but at an overall aspect, if I want to ask from you, what would be India's competitive edge here?
I think India, there is no competition today as far as India is concerned to have a competitive edge.
Okay.
No one is having a 7% growth or 6.8% growth.
Right.
So the nearest one will be half of what India is.
Right.
So in that case, I think we are already there. We just have to maintain and sustain the practices which we are doing,
Right.
improve upon it, continue with doing ease of doing business,
Right.
and that is what will help us further grow from here.
Right. Thank you so much, sir, for your time.
Thank you.